Alright, what's up everybody? I'm going to do a shorter video here. I'm going to respond to a question that was asked on one of my videos recently. This should hopefully be a lot shorter. It's, I don't know. Anyway, the question was asked by Prime Beats. This was on, I think, my Fremont delivery from last week or whatever it was. So he asked, they have in-cab cameras. Is that what you're using for the content? Okay, thanks for the question there, Prime Beats. The answer is no. JCT does not have interior-facing cameras. There was a time when they used to, but it wasn't a very long time at all. Okay, I'll give you a little history on that. I started driving for JCT in March of 2018. I want to say it was later in 2018, maybe even early 2019, when they started putting interior-facing cameras in the truck, and a number of the trucks. Mine never got it, but a lot of them did. Really, what it was is a couple of infrared sensors. One of them was mounted right here on the A-pillar, and the other one was, I think, right over here on the middle of the dash area. And what it did is they could look at where your eyes were looking, and if you looked away from the road for more than 2 seconds, then it would give you like an audible warning, and then I think it would also vibrate the seat, shake the seat, whatever. And think if it was, I don't remember, because I never had the system, so I don't know exactly the details of how it worked, but I heard something about a 2-second thing and another one about a 10-second thing. I think if you were off looking away from the road for 10 seconds, then it would also notify dispatch, and they would normally call you right away and ask you what the hell you're doing. Maybe you're texting and driving, or maybe you're falling asleep or something. That's basically what they were doing, is to check on that. All right, so that system they put in mainly to try to save on insurance costs, if I'm not mistaken, but they ran into a, I guess, unexpected problem with that, and that was the fact that out of about 800 or so trucks, I think about 200 drivers quit because of those cameras specifically. I was told it was somewhere in that ballpark. I don't know the exact number, but something around 200 drivers quit, and also our orientation numbers, basically how many new drivers were showing up to on board into the company. It was usually somewhere about a dozen and a half to, or maybe even 2 dozen drivers per week, and I heard it went down to not even half a dozen. So that presented a big problem. They had a lot of trucks sitting in the yard and nobody driving them, and it was all because of these cameras. So I think it only took maybe a couple of months, somewhere around there, before they decided, you know what, let's get rid of these cameras, because obviously the drivers don't like them, and we're losing way too much money with trucks sitting there not moving and picking up any loads. So they got rid of the cameras. Alright, so now the question is, how do I have an interior-facing camera? Alright, so I'm going to give you a little history on that one. Starts with the one I'm looking at right now. That's my interior camera. It is my personal loaned camera. It has JCT has no ownership of it. It is my personal camera. Now, the history on that is, it started out as my normal front-facing camera. It used to be my only camera that I was using in the truck, and I decided, I didn't like the nighttime video quality of it. If you go back to some of my older videos, maybe from a few years ago, maybe even 2 years ago, I can't remember. I think I got the dual camera set that I use currently now, probably at least a good year and a half ago, if I had to guess. Somewhere in that ballpark. But prior to that, though, I was using this one I'm talking to now exclusively. This one here is a Garmin 45. I'll show you pictures of all three of my cameras, so you know what kind of setup I'm running. Some of you guys do sometimes tend to ask me what kind of camera setup am I running with this. yeah, sometimes some of you guys are interested in maybe possibly running a dual cam or whatever. And I'm going to eventually go to a 3-camera system. I'll talk about that more in a second here, though. Anyway, this Garmin 45, it didn't have very good nighttime video quality. So, I mean, it was decent on the daytime conditions, and I really liked the audio quality of it. Good audio. If you compare what the audio on my main camera, you know, my forward-facing camera that I use now sounds like versus this one here, this one is way better, but the video on that one is better. So there's trade-offs there. And originally I was thinking about selling the Garmin 45, but I ended up changing my mind on that, because one of the things I wanted to focus my channel on was doing backing videos and give maybe some helpful tips to newcomers to the industry, or maybe even people who are not necessarily so new but want to pick up a few little pointers on how to make their backings better. Because let's face it, there are plenty of drivers out here who have even 5 years of experience, even more, 10 years, who just still aren't that good at backing. They have bad habits, they were taught bad, or they were enabled to be lazy or whatever. Just kind of the way things work out here. So anyway, I wanted to focus mainly on, because I know when I first got my CDL, I was all gung-ho looking for information on Facebook trucking groups, or maybe to some extent on YouTube as well, to try to gain as much knowledge and insight into how things work before I even got my license. And so I wanted to return that to the, I guess pay that back, whatever, and post content of my own that I think is useful for people to help them with their own backings and whatever else, anything trucking related, really. So instead of selling the camera, after I got this dual camera system, which by the way, if you guys are wondering about that one, which I know sometimes I do get that question, what I'm currently running right now for the front and outside rear views is a Pinnacle 4K dual camera system. I got a main camera here. It's got a much better nighttime video quality. Again, if you watch any of my videos now that I do at night versus some of the older ones that I used to do with this camera here at night, it's like a huge night and day difference. I had one at least a couple of years ago when my buddy Scotty D67, if you guys are, a lot of you guys who watch me regularly are very familiar with him already. Those of you guys who don't, go check him out. He's got a pretty good size following, 17,000 plus subs or somewhere around there, I think last time I looked. He used to drive for JCT though, and he's a personal friend of mine, and there was one particular video where he and I met up at the Petro in Kingman, Arizona. He had a live stream video going, and people were watching him, and at the same time were watching me live stream. I think I was live streaming at the same time through my phone, but I think I had also video footage through this camera here that I ended up later posting, and for kind of a better view, that's a different experience, I guess. And and you can see that it's like at nighttime in rural areas, you can barely see the road. I mean, you can barely see the lane stripes and stuff, maybe like 20 feet out in front of me, and that's about it. This camera that I'm running now, you can look probably several hundred feet up with, because it projects from it magnifies from the lights that are coming off my headlights or other people's lights a lot better than the Garmin. So that's the main reason I wanted to upgrade to this one here. And just so happened I wanted to get dual camera system. That way the rear facing camera I can use to do, I can show side backing footage. I still want to get a third camera set up on my other rear view mirror. That way I can show right turns and blindside backings and stuff like that, or maybe some things that go on when I'm driving that are over on that side of the truck that might be worth showing. So I do eventually plan to upgrade to a 3-camera system. So this camera here, the Pinnacle 4K. Now, if you guys aren't very knowledgeable about dash cams, one of the things that is very common for dash cams to have as a feature is a wide view angle. Tend to be most of them tend to be about 160 to 170 degree view angles. So really, really wide. It's remember 180 is in a straight line in each from left to right. So 170 is a very wide view, and you can catch what's going on the intersections. Even when you're almost right at the intersection, you can still see what's going on those on the other sides of that same intersection. This camera here is not as wide a view, and I want to say it's 120 degree view angle. There's a drawback to the fact it can't show what's off to the side as much. And there is a dust devil right there. I'm going to show you guys that. Because those are, I know sometimes you guys get a kick out of seeing those. Looks like it's dissipating now. Okay, so anyway, narrower view angle. Yeah, it does come at a cost of peripheral view capability, but when it's a narrower view, it has a better straight ahead view, and that's what I was looking for. Because with dash cams, when they have a wide view angle, they sacrifice on their tunnel view quality, basically. Just like when you're with your eyeballs. Now you have tunnel vision, which is your straight ahead view, and then your peripheral view, which is the sides. And depending on what your eyesight is like, especially if you wear corrective lenses or anything like that, you might relate to this a little bit better. I think if you're maybe correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have vision issues, and tend to be a little bit ignorant of how people's visions are really affected by their whatever conditions they have. So if you have, if you're farsighted, I guess if I remember right, that means you can see things just fine far away, but up close you have a hard time with maybe some depth perception stuff, or maybe peripheral vision issues as well, that kind of thing. Versus if you're nearsighted, you see stuff up closer much better, and you might probably even have a better peripheral view than other people like myself. But it'll come at a sacrifice of you can't see shit from farther away. Whereas someone with normal vision like me, it's kind of a mix of a blend. I can't, I might not be able to see exceptionally well far away, but I'm not limited on my peripheral. I actually have frequently had people ask me, how the hell can you see that from so far away? Like when I was an aircraft mechanic, sometimes had to go to a specific tail number to go do some particular work, and we usually knew where it was supposed to be parked, what exact spot, but sometimes they moved them or didn't update the system. Anyway, I could see from all the way down on the opposite side of the ramp which tail number was which. Anyway, that's kind of when you have a narrower view, you have a better straight ahead and further down the road view of what's going on, but not so good peripheral. So that's one of the things I do like about this Pinnacle 4K. Also, the 4K, it's 4K just for a reason. That's why it says that. As long as if I don't have my exterior camera hooked up, or it's hooked up but I don't have it set, I have it configured to not record, I can actually record this in 4K video quality. The exterior camera is always at 1080p quality, but if I have the exterior camera hooked up and recording, and both of these cameras record in 1080p. So I like that overall mix there. I will be upgrading to a 3-camera system, which will be I was kind of looking at the same system. It's called an Eagle Eye system. Ironically, I have a good thing I could segue off of that too. So I get I have this set up from Falcon Electronics, and the 3-camera system. It looks identical to this, but it's named Eagle Eye, and it has 2 external cameras and not one. And there's instead of 1 SD card, it's 2. And the other thing is on the main camera, it's I think it was a 170-degree view angle, which I like, but also I'm concerned about as far as what I intend to use it for most frequently. But the 2 cameras is what I like. So I'm kind of been iffy on if I want to buy that particular system. I'll eventually get it, and I will have it running at some point in time. I just don't know if it's going to be the Eagle Eye, or I might shop around and look at some other 3-camera systems and see if I like something else different, something else a little bit better. So anyway, yeah, so that's the history ultimately of why I have an interior facing camera. JCT has nothing at all to do with it. This is all my personal choice to run it. And I tend to only run it specifically for my YouTube content. Most of the time when I'm driving during the, whatever day or night, whatever, I don't tend to have it even plugged in at all. It's normally not recording. There are some times I do go ahead and have it plugged in, and not a big deal, because if something does happen, now there's video proof that I was looking at the road or aware of this or that going on before something happened, if something does actually happen. So it does have that benefit, but primarily it's only specifically for my YouTube content. It has nothing at all to do with JCT. If you have any interest whatsoever in JCT, don't worry. You're not going to find an inward-facing camera on any truck that JCT owns. All of their, we'll just say the newer trucks, the 2020 KW T680s and the 2021 Freightliner Cascadias. I don't know about the 2018 and 19 Freightliners, if they have it also, but actually I think they do. They have that Mobileye or whatever that system is called. I forget what it's called, but they have the front-facing camera, and and they have like that little control box right here on the dash, and a couple other like sensor things, whatever, and you can hit like the panic alarm, or if it senses an impact, that'll automatically record, I think 15 seconds before and 15 seconds after. Most all of JCT's trucks do have that on there, but they only face outward. They do have audio also. As far as my truck though, mine doesn't have anything on it. The only thing I have is the lane alert, which actually my cord is hanging from right there. Otherwise, there's nothing, no special safety features or spy, snitch features on my truck, except for what goes through the Qualcomm unit. The excessive speed, hard braking, all that kind of stuff. So that's about it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. I don't want to have this too excessively long. I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a history lesson and on that, and give a nice, thorough, detailed answer to that question. Again, thanks for asking that, and we'll have some more footage for you guys coming up soon. I do have my delivery I'll be making tomorrow morning. I also have a pickup to make tomorrow morning as well. So we'll cover that when it's time to make the delivery, all right? You guys already know from my previous pickup in Auburndale, Florida, where I'll be delivering to tomorrow. So if you haven't seen that yet and don't know where I'm going to be delivering to on my next video, go check out that one and find out. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.